लातों के भूत बातों से नहीं मानते। इन मूर्खों को यह भी नहीं पता कि आस्था के प्रतीकों को प्यार नहीं सम्मान दिया जाता है, सम्मान। और आस्था चौराहे पर प्रदर्शन करने की वस्तु नहीं, आस्था अंतःकरण का विषय होता है। उनके हाथों में आई लव मोहम्मद का पोस्टर देकर के, तख्तियां देकर के समाज में अराजकता पैदा करने का कार्य कुछ लोग कर रहे हैं।
A fiery clash is rocking Uttar Pradesh straight out of Bareilly, where a protest spiraled into violence. Arrests were made, and the state's chief minister Yogi Adityanath dropped some bombshell statements that have everyone talking. But hang on, let's unpack this step by step because there is a lot here that raises eyebrows, especially when it comes to free speech, selective outrage, and just how far an elected leader can go with their rhetoric. So picture this, it all kicked off back on September 4th during the Eid-e-Miladun-Nabi procession in Kanpur. Some folks were carrying posters that simply said, "I love Muhammad," expressing devotion during a religious celebration. But the police swooped in, taking action against those individuals, which sparked outrage among certain communities. Fast forward to September 26th in Bareilly, and Maulana Tawheed Raza Khan, the head of the Ittihad-e-Millat Council, a prominent cleric, calls for a demonstration to protest that very police crackdown. What started as a peaceful rally quickly turned ugly, with clashes erupting between protesters and the cops. Stones were thrown, vehicles and shops were vandalized, tensions boiled over, and by the end of it, the authorities had detained over 24 people on the spot, with Section 163 restrictions imposed to maintain order. Now, as of today, the crackdown has intensified. Police have arrested 39 people in total, including the Maulana himself and 7 others on September 27, with more than 2,500 booked in 10 FIRs. A special investigation team, SIT, has been formed to probe the violence, and investigators are combing through CCTV footage to identify more suspects. Security is being beefed up in Bareilly with flag marches, heavy police deployment, and even internet services shut down in some areas to prevent further escalation. And get this, the ripple effects are spreading. We have seen escalated tensions in places like Barabanki and Mau, where forces have been deployed to keep the peace, and similar warnings from the CM about getting beaten up like in Bareilly if things kick off elsewhere. Enter Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, who didn't mince words the very next day, September 27, during a function in Lucknow. He went straight for the jugular, saying, "The Maulana in Bareilly seem to have forgotten whose government is in place." He threatened to block roads, but we made it clear no jam, no curfew will be imposed. We will send a message so strong that even future generations will hesitate to riot. He boasted about how his government, since taking power in 2017, has dealt firmly with rioters, responding in ways they understand, whatever that means, and claimed it's ushered in a new era of peace and security that's fueling the state's development. He didn't stop there. He slammed previous administrations, calling out the Chacha Bhatija duo for extortion, saying every district was run by mafias like a parallel government, and that leaders back then bowed to these criminals, even shaking hands with a mafia's dog, as he put it. In such a corrupt system, he said, neither daughters, nor traders, nor farmers were safe. And then came the bulldozer line. For such antisocial elements who were getting a free run, we have brought in the bulldozer. Our government uprooted mafia rule and put the state on the path of development. He even argued that UP wasn't inherently a Bimaru state, backward, that is, but was made that way by dynasty politics, casteism, and what he called Sikh mentalities. More recently, he has doubled down, warning that those causing disorder during festivals will face generational consequences, and condemning the alleged misuse of children in protest. Now let's hit pause and get curious here, because this is where things get really intriguing and frankly a bit troubling. As an elected representative, the head of India's most populous state, can Yogi Adityanath really speak in such terms, threatening to teach a lesson so severe that generations will forget riot, responding in ways they understand? This sounds less like governance and more like a veiled warning. What exactly does that entail? Is this the kind of language we expect from a leader in a democracy, or does it veer into intimidation? And let's not forget, this is coming from someone who has built a reputation on tough law and order stances, including those infamous bulldozer actions against alleged mafias. But here is the big question: where's the line between maintaining peace and stoking division? Viewers, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Does this rhetoric unite or polarize? On the flip side, groups like Jamaat-e-Islami Hind and India Tomorrow have condemned the Maulana's arrest as unjust and politically motivated, claiming it's a misuse of state machinery and calling for his immediate release. The Maulana has been sent to 14-day judicial custody, and while police describe the unrest as a well-planned conspiracy, critics argue it's an overreach against a peaceful demonstration. Political figures like Asaduddin Owaisi, Tejasvi Yadav and Akhilesh Yadav have also weighed in, slamming the handling of the protest. And speaking of polarization, let's talk about those posters, because this is the cherry on top of the hypocrisy sundae. The whole uproar started over "I Love Muhammad" posters being deemed objectionable enough for police action during a religious procession. Fair enough if there is a rule against it, but then almost immediately after the Bareilly clashes, what do we see popping up all over Lucknow? Posters saying "I love Adityanath" and "I love Bulldozer", put up by none other than Amit Tripathi, the General Secretary of BJP Yuva Morcha Lucknow. If expressing love for a prophet during a festival is worth cracking down on, why aren't these political love letters getting the same treatment? Is "I love Bulldozer" or "I love Adityanath" somehow less provocative? Especially when the bulldozer has become a symbol of demolitions that critics say disproportionately target certain communities. Are we applying laws evenly, or is there a double standard at play here based on who's being loved? One side gets arrests and clashes, the other gets a free pass to plaster the city. What's the message there about equality under the law? This Bareilly saga isn't just about one protest or one cleric. It's a window into bigger issues: religious freedoms, political muscle flexing, and how power is wielded in UP. With more arrests rolling in, an SIT on the case, and security ramped up, things seem calm for now, but the underlying tensions, they are simmering.
कुछ लोगों को शांति और विकास अच्छा नहीं लगता, लातों के भूत बातों से नहीं मानते। इनको लगता है जैसे सरकार अब भी इनके सामने झुक करके कार्य करेगी। सरकार का पहले दिन से, डबल इंजन की सरकार का पहले दिन से ही यह निर्णय है कि अपराध और अपराधियों के प्रति, गद्दारों और देशद्रोहियों के प्रति सरकार जीरो टॉलरेंस की नीति के तहत कार्य करेगी। हमारी संवेदना एक गरीब के लिए है, हमारी संवेदना नौजवान के लिए है, हमारी संवेदना बेटी और बहनों के लिए है, हमारी संवेदना अपने अन्नदाता किसानों के लिए है, हमारी संवेदना उन व्यापारियों और उद्यमियों के लिए है जो अपने यहां देश के विकास का खाका तैयार करते हैं और नौजवानों के लिए रोजगार और नौकरी की व्यवस्था करते हैं। हमारी संवेदना उस हर नागरिक के साथ है जो भारत को भारत माता के रूप में सम्मान देता है, भारत के महापुरुषों का सम्मान करता है, भारत की परंपरा और भारतीय संस्कृति के प्रति आदर का भाव रखता है। इन मूर्खों को यह भी नहीं पता कि आस्था के प्रतीकों को प्यार नहीं सम्मान दिया जाता है, सम्मान। और आस्था चौराहे पर प्रदर्शन करने की वस्तु नहीं, आस्था अंतःकरण का विषय होता है, अंतःकरण का विषय होता है। आज चौराहे चौराहे पर जाकर के कितने कमजोर और कायर हैं, छोटे छोटे बच्चों को जिनके हाथों में कलम होनी चाहिए, जिनके हाथों में नोटबुक होनी चाहिए, जिनके हाथों में विज्ञान और गणित की पुस्तकें होनी चाहिए, उनके हाथों में आई लव मोहम्मद का पोस्टर देकर के, तख्तियां देकर के समाज में अराजकता पैदा करने का कार्य कुछ लोग कर रहे हैं। इनको यह भी नहीं मालूम कि उनकी जिंदगी तो बर्बाद है ही है, लेकिन इन बच्चों की भी जिंदगी को ये लोग बर्बाद करने पर उतारू हो रखे हैं।